Oh, yeah. What's going on?
There's too many of you around.
This was in 1970s.
Brother, there's far too many of you now. You know you've got to bring some love in here today. Father,
Yeah.
we don't need to escalate. War's not the answer.
No, it's not an answer.
Falling love
Oh, sweet.
you know we've got to find a way.
Welcome. What's up? Pretty Rick is in the house. Your boy Drew. Welcome back to another conversation with the brothers. Today, like my Marvin Gaye said, what's going on in the world today? What we're going to talk about today is mass shooting. What is going on? This has been going on for a long time. The last one this week happened, the Brown University shooting. What's crazy, man? What is going on with all this mass shooting, bro?
Well, you know, the whole thing comes down to one thing. You know who the perpetrators tend to be. That says it all. They handle pressure entirely different than we do. We come up under a lot of pressure. So things that may bother them will not bother us. You know, they just can't grasp the concept of handling stress very well. So it leads to a lot of things like this. Shootings.
Exactly. Because before Brown University, the first mass shooting I remember when I was living in Dover, Delaware, was the Amish school shooting, which killed all these kids in the school. And I remember my daughter was, she was going to a private school, and I just couldn't imagine you send your kids to school and somebody just come in there and just violate them and just take their life, man. That was mind-boggling, man. It just was a lot of disappointment, I think, at that time for me, because I didn't want to send her to school like that. I wanted to be around a group of other kids, but that was an Amish school shooting, and I think they tore that school down after that happened.
And the perpetrator?
There you go. Exactly. And the ages of that, 18 to 34-year-old white males, I guess I don't know. I mean, I think it's because a lot of these guys, you got to watch these kids as loners. They got no friends, don't play no sports. They don't have no fun. They just stay in the basement. They be quiet. And a lot of times the parents don't really pay no attention to them. Something happened to them when they were smaller. I don't know if they got abused or whatever or neglected.
But you can kind of get an idea of who they are if you really think about it, man. If you got these kids, man, who sit in the house all the time, playing games, in the room with the doors closed.
Yes.
I mean, and have no friends. And first of all, I mean, you know, they're not getting any. I mean, it has a lot to do with, man. A lot of these kids, man, they start sexually frustrated, you know, blah, 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 whatever, you know. But I'm telling you, man, that's a recipe for disaster when you're not monitoring any kid.
Yeah.
Especially any teenager with no friends.
Exactly. And when you said mass shootings, when we said mass shooting, their definition of mass shooting, I think 5 or more people in a group is considered a mass shooting. And I think they were trying to say that blacks have more mass shooting than white, which is not true. You got to look at the significance of it. You know, a black person, most time when he's shooting or killing in a group because it's a beef, gang related or something like that. So they only target the people they're targeting, the people that got involved in. And sometimes somebody might happen to get hit that's not involved in it. But a mass shooter is somebody that comes into your environment, a space or whatever, with a weapon and just shoot everybody he don't know. He just walking around and just killing people.
Indiscriminate.
You gotta have a certain type of mindset to do that. Just kill individually just like that. Or you planned it, because you had to plan this. This is something you don't just wake up one day and I'm gonna go kill a group of people. No, it was planned.
It's not something that we
would never
black
plan
folks
that.
wake up and think like that for the most part. Now, there's been a couple here and there.
No.
You know, but the only really one that I can really think of is the DC
sniper. DC sniper.
As far as that, and to me, that's more like serial killing to me.
Yes.
Because he didn't really kill people in mass groups.
Exactly.
Though, I mean, he was still killing some gun.
He was killing, yeah.
He's killing. I mean,
but he had a motive too. And he had a motive. The shooter had a motive. He had a kid to kill, but the main guy had a motive, something to do with his ex-wife or whatever. But that was I'll never forget it. That was it. My brother was living in PG County at the time. He wanted me to come up there. And I said, man, you done lost your mind, man. They shoot people at gas pumps and everything. I said, you crazy? I don't know what, man. But,
I was afraid to pump my gas now.
Yeah. Exactly. You got mad.
I didn't want to go to the gas station, man.
But you didn't know where. I thought then it was somebody was traveling around killing people, which he was. And I don't think, man, okay, maybe they come to Dover or maybe they come to Maryland or whatever, or a local. We didn't know what was going on. People was on, that was like frightened. People stayed in the house at that time.
Man, I tried to pay an MF to pump my gas, man. I was afraid to get out, man. I was ducking and looking all around and shit, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That was serious shit back then, man.
It was serious stuff, though. But
if you never suspected to be a Negro doing that shit?
No, I never thought it was a black person.
That Negro was hiding in his trunk.
Exactly. In his trunk. Who would have thought a man would get a gun with put a hole in the back of a trunk and just go around shooting people? What is that about, man? Sometimes you sit back and think about that.
He must have read that book, Think Like a White Man. Because you know where no Negro was actively thinking of that.
No. This guy's ex-military too. The one that was riding around. The kid in the back was a kid. He was a teenager, and then was brainwashed and all this stuff, though. But getting back to mass shootings, when you got individuals that goes inside of a university, like the Virginia Tech shooting, the Columbine shooting, just walk around just shooting people up, that's a different type of thing, man. So something have to be really wrong with you. I know they talk about mental illness. No, something else is going on with that person for you to go around just shooting, killing people for no apparent reason.
Hate is hate, man. Hate is taught in the foundations of your home.
Yeah.
If the kid's not getting attention or whatever, I mean, a lot of times these kids are just going through like a depression type thing.
Yes.
I mean, it's just unfortunate, that so many people think that you killing each other's answer, and it's not.
Yes. So like pressure. Like me, like I said, I've been down on my lowest and I've been up. So nothing can really bring me down where I'm going to do something violent or take my own life. Some people can't handle that pressure. When you've always been up all your life, you always been spoiled all your life, you always have a silver spoon in your mouth, you don't know what it's like to be down. So when you get down, you don't know what you're capable of doing. So a lot of these people that's doing like committing suicide because they've never been down. So they don't know how to handle it. So we as blacks, we've been down a lot. So we know what it's like to struggle. So when we struggle, nothing can hurt us. We get back on the course and start out all over again.
The bottom line is loving yourself and loving your family enough not to hurt anybody or put yourself in a position where you can go to jail or something like that. I mean, again, killing each other is never an answer. Killing anybody is never an answer.
So you don't think it's mental illness?
Some of it is mental illness, but it's funny is when black folks tend to kill people, it's not so much mental illness.
Exactly.
Is when it is other races, more especially Caucasians, kill people. They can use a lot of times, the mental illness as an excuse. But if you say that you're mental illness, they look at you. Well, you're crazy ass going to jail.
Exactly.
It kind of doesn't matter, You have to understand that there's a difference in how we're treated and how they're treated in regards to different situations. And again, there's good black people, bad black people, good white people, bad white people. So anybody who's decent, it doesn't concern you. But we're taking aim at truly what's going on as far as the active shooters being that it's being portrayed that us as black people are so violent.
Mm-hmm. And which is not true. Like I said, we're mostly killing ourselves. Very seldom you see a black man or whatever killing white people, a group of white people.
And even that is set up systematic for the most part. If you even go back to slavery when the so-called slaves were released, They were released with no type of support, economic support, anything like that, any housing. So of course, what they did is the so-called slaves that were released who actually had a few things were victimized by the ones who didn't have. And it's the same process of victimization right now that we're still seeing. It's just a cycle that we're going through. And the government is, they're putting that out there. They're pushing this cycle.
So what do you guys think? You can comment, or what do you think about the different types of shootings, the mass shootings versus gang shootings? I mean, they're trying to put them together so they're the same. So what do you guys think? I don't think they're the same. I think when you target someone, that's not a mass shooting to me. But they got it labeled as mass shooting because it's 3 to 5 or more a group of people is considered a mass shooting. So I think if you go around and you just go in somewhere and just shoot up the place, just kill everybody, that's totally different though.
Yeah, personal beef and that are different. I totally agree with you with that. That's definitely different.
Yes, totally different. So what do you think about them trying to label that African Americans have the highest rate of mass shooting? What do you think about that?
You can hit us up at 1-844-472-5825, or you can leave your comments at blackalertradio@gmail.com. We'll get back to you with your questions or your answers or even comments. We'll do it live over the radio as well.
Yep. So all I want to do is, like I said, I just want to come on here and just brush up on a little bit. We're going to still talk about a little more about this later on in different episodes about mass shooting. But we just want to highlight some of the things about mass shooting. And this is going to go on 2026. And same thing with gun violence and the guns. I know we can't stop mass shooting from getting a gun because anybody can get a gun and start shooting. So that's not the question.
But that right there is key. 18 to 35.
18 to 35.
And the perpetrators of these crimes tend to be, okay?
Yep.
So if that's the case, being will so violent, these white boys 18 to 35, maybe you should go take their guns.
Yes.
So they're the ones that are here killing people in masses.
Yes.
Now, we may have our problems in our community, but we're doing things to ourselves. We're going to definitely take care of that. Once we start to step up in our communities, these are things that we can take care of ourselves. But that is an entirely different thing as far as the mass shootings.
Exactly.
This personal beef, all this stuff is created within our communities by the love of money and other things. So,
and guns. I mean, I remember way back when I was growing up, guns always stayed in the house, laid up against the door. Shotguns. We never touched no shotgun.
You better not get your hand up on
you touch no shotgun. But now it's times are different.
You better get shot.
And like you said before, the fathers are teaching these kids at 5, 6 years old how to shoot guns. They always got guns around. They all had guns in the back of the pickups, always robbing shotguns and stuff. So that was something they always had in their life growing up. Shotguns.
They're desensitized to guns. We don't understand, what guns do. I mean, like I said, I was told at a young age, this is my gun. You touch my gun, I'm beating your hind parts.
Exactly.
And that was the deterrent. And guess what? I didn't touch that gun.
And never touched it. But see, you can have a gun, open to carry a gun, have a license to carry a gun, and you tell a cop that you got a gun because you got a license to carry this gun. He's going to treat you differently than he treat a white person. White person can walk right down the road with a gun on to his side.
I see it all the time.
And a black man have a gun to his side, man, they put him on him with guns right up on him. And that's not fair. And that's why I said that's stereotyping, because just because you're a license, just because you can get something, that don't mean it's going to be fair. We're going to be treated fair because it's not going to be the same though. We're not treated fair, so we know that.
See, black folks, we're under the misconception of freedom and liberty. There's a difference between freedoms and liberty. There is a big difference. So once we grasp the concept and understanding that is different, we'll look at our rights a little different, our so-called rights. Really, technically, the way things are written, you really don't have rights. That's why you're not respected as you should be.
Exactly.
But all these things can be changed very, very easily.
Exactly. And I gotta tell you guys, keep your eyes open, because you gotta remember when we hear about mass shooting, the closest one mass shooting was it Virginia Tech?
Yeah, that Virginia Tech shooting.
Virginia Tech maybe it was the closest one in this area though. So we haven't experienced anything like that. Like it's all the way Whatcom County in the Ocean City area. So I think sometimes we tend to look away. Sometimes just hear it, and it's. I think a lot of stuff is immune to us now. All these shootings, there's so many going on, so we're immune to the stuff though. But I'm telling you right now, when you're like in the casino or in sporting events, you better keep your eyes open. You better watch people. I'm always keep my eyes open because at any time, anything can go off. Where this world is today, you better keep your eyes open, man. I tell you.
And I can tell you one more thing too before we close this one out. You know what? This holidays coming up.
Holidays coming up.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not being anywhere where there's a crowd of people.
Yes.
I'm not going to these large events or anything like that.
Yes.
There's so much going on right now.
And, stay home.
And look, it's bad enough you're black, but then they're doing the thing of American as well, and America's not earning very much goodwill, around the world nowadays. So it's kind of like I'm gonna keep my hind parts home, with my little bottle of Hennessy, and just chill out.
Like you said, New Year's coming in, and a group of people around, and all this stuff, man. I know you want to go out and do all this ringing the New Year, man. You got to remember, we are living in a different world. It's not the same world we grew up in. It's a different world. So things that we traditionally did, you can't do them no more. And we want to do them, but it's a fact. We just can't do them no more. The people change. A lot of the old folks died off, and you got a different generation coming in, and you got these young people coming in. Their thoughts are different. You can't look at them a certain way. They step on the shoe. So the best way to avoid that conflict, just stay home. And everybody say, "Oh, you got to enjoy your life." Well, you enjoy your life. You can be enjoying it in a pine box too. I'm just saying, use common sense too. So I don't want to be a part of that nonsense.
The front leaning rest position.
Yes, nose up, toes up. I don't want to be like that. So guys, just be careful out there. But like I said, call in at 1-844-472-5825. Give your opinion about something, comment about it, and what you think about it, man.
You can hit us an email, blackalertradio@gmail.com. We love you guys, man. We're going to hit you with another one real soon.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right.